was really tiny, but that's fine. It's not like I
Yeah,
want to look at myself anyway.
yeah. That's the best we can do on
But
Google Meet.
yeah, but thank you for trying to help.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So yeah, I could start by just
Great.
telling you a bit about myself.
Great. All right. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah,
the reason I'm talking to you
yeah,
is
let's start that way.
obviously because I was a 10 Academy fellow myself. That was in 2017. Wow, long time ago. Yeah, so I think now I haven't been able to keep in touch. I think now you're having it online, right? Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so
Yeah, we have it online.
during my time, it was a bit more fun, I would say. So we went to Ghana for a month at Ashesi University. And yeah, it was a really nice group. So myself, I am from Mauritius, um, and right now I am talking to you from Germany, in a city called Mannheim in Germany. So I actually ended up here, uh, thanks to 10 Academy, thanks to Arun, who helped a lot. And yeah, I actually got the job because of the 10 Academy fellowship. So I moved here, has been 2.5 years now, and yeah, I'm still here. So I work as an engineer. I am an electrical engineer in PV parks, mostly large scale PV parks. I do international projects, so all around the world. But again, thanks to 10 Academy. Yeah, so you guys are at the right place. That's what I would say.
Perfect. That's great. So, I mean, walk us through. We've had a couple of alumni come to share their experience. Most of them were from the first inaugural program, and we are happy to have you also share perspective on that.
Yeah.
So, would you like to, where were you at that point when you discovered 10 Academy, and what did you pick throughout that
Mm,
period of time till now? So, you can walk us through
yeah,
that
it
and then
was.
landing your job.
Yeah, yeah. I imagine you guys must be interested in that. I was definitely during my time. So it's actually an interesting story. So I was a scholarship student in Brunei, which is another country for those who don't know about it. It's north of Malaysia. So I was awarded a scholarship. So I was studying for my engineering degree then. And in my last year, it's actually, yeah, the 10 Academy, the Infinite Potentials. So Arun's organization, they were sending emails to advertise the fellowship program to African universities. So obviously, didn't get that email because I was not in an African university. I was in Brunei, but my sister at the time was at the University of Mauritius, and she got the email, and she sent it to me, and she was like, "Yeah, but they're saying Africans, so you're still an African. You should try." So I did, and yeah, I had a couple of interviews with Arun, and yeah, it was also interesting because he told me I was the first person he interviewed in the group, and yeah, I was selected, and I wasn't sure at that point whether I would go or not. We also had to pay our own air ticket, although everything else was covered. But we had to pay the air ticket, and I was in Brunei. And after 4 very long years, I was looking forward to be home with my family, but it sounded like a really great opportunity, and the advertising was also quite aggressive. They were talking about meeting CEOs and people from Google, and I was like, okay, I can do this one more month. I can be in a foreign country for one more month and do this. And it sounded like a really good opportunity. And at that time, I was also very worried because after 4 years of study, I didn't know what would happen next. I didn't know there was no like job waiting for me. And at that point, I hadn't finished my degree yet. I was still doing my examinations. So it was I was at crossroads. It was an overwhelming time of my life. I didn't know what I would do next, and I didn't want to be a failure in everyone's eyes. So I was like, okay, even if I don't land a job, I'm still gonna tell everyone, yeah, I landed a fellowship. So I would be there, and that's really what how I ended up going. And from there to actually landing a job, which was my biggest fear at that time, that I wouldn't get a job immediately, and I really wanted that. I guess everybody does when you finish your degree, right? So I was in the fellowship program, and Aaron's team at that time, I don't think Prosper was in the team because I never met him. But Aaron's team was like a bunch of really nice people, and they were working really hard to do what's best for all the participants. So they were contacting companies, they were advertising us on the website, and there's Emmanuel here who said that he saw my face on the website. Yes, I don't know if my CV is still there. It's quite outdated by now, of course, but we had our CVs on the website as well. So companies were able to see those. And then there's a day when Aaron came to me and he said, oh, there's this German company. They're looking for an electrical engineer, and they saw your CV on the website and they were really impressed. How would you feel about that? And again, coming back to what I said earlier, I really wanted to go home and settle after 4 very long years. But I scheduled the interview at Aaron's request. He was like, "Yeah, just give it a try. You never know what will happen." I was like, "Yeah, fine." I am very competitive in nature, so I was like, "Yeah, even if I will not go for the job, just I will have the satisfaction of getting the job." That was a big thing for me. So I remember I traveled back to Mauritius that day from Ghana. After a very long flight, I had a transit in Ethiopia, and then another one in Johannesburg, and then finally in Mauritius. And after 1 hour of reaching home, I had the interview. No need to say I was exhausted, but I still took it. I took the interview, and after just a few days, they told me, "Yeah, you have been selected." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not. Even if I'm coming, I wouldn't stay very long." Then I said, we discussed about having an internship for a year. That sounded perfect at the time. I wasn't married or anything. I was single. I was like, okay, fine. Europe, 1 year, a lot of traveling, everything, life will be so cool. so so I took that opportunity as well, and I came here. But yeah, I'm still here. It's been 2.5 years, almost going to 3 years. I'm still here, married with a baby. Yeah, my whole life is here now. Yeah, and the job also has evolved in many ways that I always wanted it to. I mean, what I wanted to do as a job, I found everything I was looking for in the company, in my current position. So yeah, there was no need to go back then. Yeah, so that's about myself and my journey so far.
Great. That's an interesting journey. I love the fact that you were able to paint a picture from where you started off from and where you are.
Mm,
This is where most of us would like to know. Currently in the training, all the learners are learning new skills. During your time, it was more open to learn about different skills that will be relevant in your career. But this is more
yeah.
technical and also getting other related skills. So currently in your new role, what do you do? Are you still managing or you're leading technically as an electrical engineer?
Yeah, actually, I have a lot on my plate actually. I am the lead engineer for quite a few projects, and they are very large scale. My latest project is in Ireland. I had two in Kazakhstan. I had projects in the UK. Um, yeah, it's more like in my company, it's like it's a very large company, but when you're an engineer in a project, you're the only engineer. And of course, we have a few interns who are here sometimes, sometimes not. They help us a bit, but yeah, you have to really take care of everything. But what I learned in 10 Academy, of course, it wasn't electrical engineering, but I learned a lot of things that helped me in my job today. I learned how to look at things from a new perspective. I think those are the things that you don't get elsewhere. You don't get in a classroom. You don't get when doing your degree. You will have people who will spoon feed you information, what you need to know when you're studying, for example, what you need to pass your exam. And most of the time, I think we've all been there. We study and then you do the exam. 1 month later, everything is forgotten. But 10 Academy at that time was a life-changing experience. And I'm not saying that because I'm talking to you on as a fellow. I'm telling you that as a person, it was very much life-changing. We covered a lot of modules at that time, not just data science. I think now the focus is a lot more on data science. There was data science, but there were a lot more artificial intelligence, and then there were non-technical topics as well that we covered at that time. But everything has brought me to this point, and we focused a lot also on project management. We had a whole module about it when I was doing the 10 Academy Fellowship program. And this the aspects of project management and the way that we did it has really changed how I always approached project management. And now when I have to approach my projects, I still use the same way. Yeah. And one thing maybe interesting is that we had this stand-up, how would I say, it was not like a committee, it was more like a stand-up thing, when the whole team, we were put into teams during our time, and the whole team would stand up every morning, in our group and talk and hear what each other has been doing. And I was always the scrum master. So it was a very nice experience because I still do that now. Nobody else does it in my company, but when it comes to my project, I always advise that we do this, and we do it every day, and I think it works wonderfully. And now, of course, because of the Corona situation, we do it online, but still it works. Yeah, I think I have learned a lot of skills, life skills, job skills from my time in 10 Academy.
That's interesting. I think mentioning project management just reminded me of a tutorial Arun had just this afternoon, a few hours ago about project management. And I don't know from the perspective of the learners, they've asked really brilliant questions. And in between, I would open up for them to share or ask some of the questions
Hmm.
pertaining to project management to see how relevant it is, even as they are preparing to go out there in the job market. What challenges did you have? I mean, or what challenge do you currently have in your current role um, as an engineer, and how are you using the skills you've acquired to solve them? So you can pick on a particular experience and share with us.
Okay, I would probably come back to project management on this. I think a challenge that not just me, I think every engineer has, is to get everybody to understand the technical point of view. That's a major challenge. For example, when a project comes to us, we have one person from each department. So there's the project manager, there's the engineer, there's the sales guy, the one who's actually selling the project to the client. We have other designers as well. There's a bunch of people who think from different perspective, right? Especially we always have the challenges with the sales guy because he thinks in terms of reducing the costs for us and maximizing profit. And from a technical point of view, you have to think about a lot of other things. You have to think about safety, for example. You have to think about using, for example, a very technical example. If you have to choose between two fuses, the sales guy will choose the cheap one, and we have to choose the safe one. So I think one skill that I learned in 10 Academy was I had the same experience because we were put into a team of people from technical and non-technical background, and we were given a project to work on. So the way we had to handle it, and it was a very intense time. I don't know if Arun ever had the chance to tell you guys. We it was super intense. One group, 1 month given a challenge. It was like a competition. So one group would win, and there was crying, there was laughing, there was everything. Yeah, there was everything. And from that experience of how we manage the group and we manage not to kill each other until the end, that really helps. That really helped me, and it still helps in my job right now, because it taught me to understand other people's perspective and offer my own in a way that wouldn't make people turn against me right away, but instead want to try to understand me. So that I think that's the best example that I can give in terms of something I have really learned from 10 Academy, and I still apply it to overcome the challenges in my work right now.
Great, interesting. Before you come back to project management again, I would open up to take three set of questions from the learners,
Yeah.
and then we will continue with you, and then in between we'll take another set. So, if you have a question, kindly unmute, introduce yourself, your name, the country you're in, then you can ask your question.
First of all, thank you, Emmanuel. So please, guys, don't be shy. It will not get you
Yeah,
anywhere in
yeah,
life. You have to ask.
Hello.
yes. Yeah, hi.
Hello.
Look, we can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi.
Good evening.
Wow, I'm actually excited seeing your face because anytime I open 10 Academy website, I always see your face.
Wow, I really need to have a look at that website.
Yeah, okay, so back to my question. So I think today we had a session on project management, and some of my fear is this. Like, can you just share your experience of how you have managed people and how you have managed projects as a project manager or as an engineer? And this is the other one.
You mean, sorry, I didn't get that very well, but are you asking an example of how I have managed a project? Is that it?
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Okay. Okay. I think first of all, it depends on the industry that you're on. How you manage a project is very different from one industry to the other, but the basics are the same. The basics, how to talk to people, how to welcome ideas, how to get people to open up to you, and how to, be approachable as well is very important, and how to take criticism. That's super important. You need to be able to take criticism, and you need to be able to know when to say, I'm sorry, I was wrong, let's discuss this, let's find a solution. So an example of how I do things, maybe I would take my project to have a more concrete example. I was doing my very first project as an engineer was a 50 megawatt peak solar park in Kazakhstan. It was actually the second solar park that was being built in Kazakhstan by us, but the first one for me. And you can imagine the people in Kazakhstan, they speak the Russian language or the Kazakhian language, and most of them don't speak English. And because we were building there, we had a lot of subcontractors, we had a lot of companies that were doing works on site for us there, and they were all not speaking English. They couldn't even write English. So all the reports that I was getting as an engineer, the technical reports, everything was in Russian. And then we had one colleague in the group who could understand Russian. And of course, before you tell me, oh, why don't you get it translated? You don't have the time. When the project is high pressure, you don't have the time to send everything over to a translation company and have it back. So I had to work very closely with this colleague who does not understand anything about technical, but he's actually a sales guy. He does not understand anything about the technicals, but he was the only one I could find who could speak Russian. And I was going with him with schematics. I was showing him about switches and fuses and cables. Yeah, but the point is that in that situation, you need to be able to manage it somehow. You have two choices. You can either say, no, I don't want to take this project because I can't do it because nothing is in English and I can't understand anything. Or the other choice that you have is that you find a solution. I found this guy, and for less pressing documents, I was able to get them translated. And the other problem is that the whole team had the same problem as me. It was not just me. So communication became very difficult among ourselves. Not just difficult, it became very frustrating as well, right? But we had to approach it from a very delicate project management perspective. We had to approach it in the most, like I said, the most delicate way, and we had to find strategies to communicate how we were feeling, how we think we are moving ahead, how we should proceed, how we should not proceed. So these are all the things that you need to consider. So I gave you my example of how I did it, but in another sector, I don't know, in another industry, it would be different. The point is not that project management, it's not that you learn how the ABCD of project management, or the step one, step two, or some sometimes you search on Google and you get 5 easy steps as a project manager, something like this. That does not exist. You have to learn skills that can be adapted to your specific situation, and that's the only way you will succeed as a project manager, or as anybody who has to manage anything at work. Yeah.
That was a great way you handled that situation. I think there's another question in the chat box. I'll read it.
Sorry.
Imano would like to know. Imano would like to know how you present your ideas to the team. Then you can take the other questions from there.
mm, okay, how you learn to present your ideas to the team. Again, I don't want to sound cheesy here, but I learned it in 10 Academy. I was really bad at it before. uh, I was, like I said before, like I mentioned, I am a very competitive person. Yes, yes. I was actually, maybe a funny fact. During my time at university, we had this class that is called English Communication for Engineers, something like this. And we had a few sessions of negotiation skills, right? So we were teamed up. To practice our negotiation skills, and I was teamed up with this girl, and she ended up crying after 5 minutes. I was like, I was like, yeah, I am the worst. I know. I'm sorry about that, but I can be very aggressive, and that's really bad. That's really really bad when you want when you want to work in a team. I have never, before starting my job, my current job, I was never good at working in a team, really. And I think I realized that when I was at the 10 Academy, yeah, it was very frustrating for me. But the way that we were taught to proceed as a team, that made the whole difference. Yeah, we were taught a lot of skills, how to be patient, how to communicate, and that's why I'm saying I think the program was less technical before, or I don't know how it is right now. You guys know better. Maybe you're covering that as well in your project management classes, and these are the skills that will help you. Yeah, you will learn through practice. You will learn through learning the basics, and I think 10 Academy is a really good place for you to learn how to present your ideas. Yeah.
Great. So the second question is from Adake, if you can read it.
Mhm. Yes. Um, how would I say this? I don't think I switched from my engineering background to a computer science background. I don't think I switched background. In engineering, we have a lot of computer science as well. Of course, it's not the whole computer science. I don't ever think I would be able to do the whole computer science. I am really bad at programming, but we had the programming classes, and I think that's what computer science is for us engineers, right? We had the computer classes, and during the 10 Academy program, like I said, it was not so data science specific like it is for you guys now. So maybe that's why it's a bit difficult to explain, but it's not like we had to leave our background and switch to a computer science background. It was not like this at all. We had a mix of modules. Um, we had programming. Yes, we did have programming. Actually, the CV, I don't know if you can see it still. We have our CVs on the website, and it was done for programming. We programmed that, all of us. Um, and it was not just me. There were people who had never learned anything technical. They were studying, I don't know, health and safety, or even less technical, like marketing or something like this. They were able to manage. So I really don't think I had to switch the background, really. Yeah. I see a question here. Interesting. How to encourage togetherness and motivate others. Hmm. The first thing, who said that? Okay, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, are you a good listener? Or is he still here? I cannot see everyone, I think.
I am still here. I'm still here.
Okay.
Should I?
Yes, yes, please. Are you a good listener? Honestly.
I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm learning. Let me say I'm learning.
Wow, you're very honest. I would just say no. Um, if you really want to encourage togetherness and you want to motivate people, I don't know what you do, or what are your aspirations, what kind of role you want to have after this program. And I assume you're asking this question for a reason. I would say perfect your listening skills first. You need to be a good listener to be able to know what motivates other people. Oftentimes, we think that what motivates us should be the things that motivate other people. That's not true at all. So if you learn to just listen, you will be able to motivate people in more ways than you think you ever can. And to encourage togetherness, I would say, for example, to a more concrete example, if you're in a team, set your goals. That's what I can say. When a group of people are working together towards a goal, they will come together eventually, despite all differences. Once you know what your goal is, once you know what path you want to take to get there, you will succeed as a team. Yeah. Uh, how is it being a mother and being an engineer? Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm actually a very new mother. My son is only 7 months, and I went back to work when he was 4.5 months from my maternity leave. It's very difficult, um, but maybe I will sound like a really bad mother right now. We normally have 1 year maternity leave in Germany. I chose to end it earlier because I I was just not happy being, I was not myself. I was not happy staying at home with the baby all the time. I love my son. I love him a lot, but um, I always say a baby does not need a perfect mother. They just need a happy one who can keep them happy. And this is where my happiness lies. I love my job. I love my family, of course. I love my job as well. So when you can get the best of both worlds, yeah, you make it work somehow. I would like to talk more about Ada's question. What was the question? Okay. Uh-huh. Wow. Um, that's intense. The first thing I would tell you, um, did you, okay, I want to know this, Rofia, did you finish your engineering degree?
Yes, 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 I did.
Okay, so you have finished.
Yes.
Yeah, then by all means, if you don't want to stay with engineering, change, and change now before it's too late. Life is very short. If you get the chance, I don't know, are you, I hope it's not too personal. Are you married? Do you have kids?
No,
No,
no, I'm not.
right? Then run for your life before you're stuck. This is the chance of your life. once you have a family and you have a baby to take care of, even if you want to change, I'm not saying it's not possible. No, you never have to stay stuck in a situation, but it will be difficult. And especially when it comes a time when you know your income is also important for the family.
Yeah.
This and you have a job that is paying well already, it will be a mind-wrecking, devastating thing to think about living all the time. This is a place you will never be able to live. Well, not never, but it will be difficult for you. Let me
Yeah.
tell you this. I always wanted to be a lawyer. I studied law. I studied law for a year, but it was always something coming in the way, and I think I was not strong enough. I need to say this honestly. I was
Yeah.
not strong enough to maintain my ground. I started studying law at the University of Mauritius. Then I got the scholarship for engineering, and I was tempted. I was very tempted. At the thought of getting a scholarship and going abroad, I studied. I decided to leave it all behind. I started my engineering degree, and during my engineering degree, I started studying law again. So for a year, I was
Yeah.
actually studying both, and I couldn't finish the law degree again because again the engineering degree was my main one, and if
Yeah.
I decided to drop out of engineering, I would have to go back home, pack up and go back home. So
Yeah.
that was a very difficult situation for me. If you are telling me that this is not your calling, you don't feel like it, and it's fancy saying hello, I'm an engineer, but you have to think about the daily things that you have to do, your tasks. Do you enjoy sitting in front of a computer for hours? And I don't mean it in a bad way. If you're an
Yeah.
engineer, you will come to this point where you have to sit in front of the computer for hours and maybe just, I don't know if you use AutoCAD software like this, maybe just design circuits, design systems. This is part of the job. So
Uh,
if you
um,
enjoy that kind of thing,
not really.
yeah,
Not really.
some people do. Some people do. So they like the job then, right?
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's
some people
mostly a
do.
struggle for me.
Yeah, so I also didn't like to be an engineer very much. I am already one now, like I told you what my situation was. But in the
Yeah.
future, if I get the chance to study law and finish it, I will take it. Yeah, I will take it. So right now, I think I'm jealous of you. You're in the perfect place to make that decision for yourself. If you can't do it now, you will never be able to do it. So do it now. Do something that you love, and there's a famous quote. I don't remember it exactly, but it says that when you do something that you love, you will never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always look at that and I'm like, oh crap, I really screwed up my life. No, but honestly, do it. Just do it.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay,
Welcome.
great. So let me just get in quick before you answer the other questions.
Yes.
I am also an engineer. I studied electrical engineering,
Do you like
and
it?
for me, well, I think I love engineering project management.
Uh-huh.
That's one aspect I love, and energy economics, and looking at the policy side of engineering.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had people tell me when I was back in university, I was the student council president, and leadership has always been my thing, and how to use that to solve problems. So
Mm-hmm.
more often, I find myself within space. I learned things the hard way. I learned different skills. So in order not to be out of the field that I don't want to, I think I want to do the policy side of engineering. Then that way I can still have a feel that I'm an engineer and still have a project management background, like really get certification so I could really exercise that. Just this afternoon, Arun talked about okay, project manager, like you could just have the basics, but at least if like what you mentioned, if you have to solve real problems, you need to have some in-depth
Mm-hmm.
skill around that. So, Rufia, you're not alone. I think it's our system, African system, sometimes doesn't make it quite interesting to pursue it that much. People discover themselves later on when they start their first degree and they veer off into doing something else. Most engineers are best at becoming managers and all of that too. So it's not a bad thing. Thank you. Uh, you can
It's
go on.
it's
You can
good
take the other
it's good
questions.
to know I'm not alone. Thank you.
Yeah, Prosper. The world needs more engineers like you who are not looking for an escape. I mean, just the fact that you can talk about the policy of engineering, I think you're the right person for the job. Yeah. I,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
there are aspects that I love about it. Of course, I love the project management side. I mean, it's not like I am just like I just have to like suck it up every day and go to work. No, it's not like this at all. I enjoy what I do. I like the challenges, but I know that if I do get the chance to study law and become a lawyer, I will take it. So that's maybe different from what Rofia was saying. Like she doesn't quite feel it. It's not the case for me. I am happy. I won't complain about it. I am happy in my life. But like I said again, if I get the chance, yes, I will be a lawyer, hopefully in a few years. Yes.
yeah. I think that would come through. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
another question
Thank you.
by Nabil,
Yes.
if you can see it.
Mm, sorry. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful session. Very honest. Yes. Be careful where you're honest, though. Don't be so honest in a job interview. Mm, I can't, I think, am I lost? Where I can't see. Ah, I saw Nabil, right? Yes. As an
Yeah, Nabil.
employee, yeah, after getting a job for the first time, what is the things you should focus on? What I can think of, a few quick things. You have to learn how the whole company works. So when you enter a company, especially the first week, you won't have so much on your hands. I mean, it will feel overwhelming, but you won't have like so many real tasks that demand all your attention or so many responsibilities, especially the first few weeks. So that is a very good time and a very good chance for you to learn how all the departments work. I think I was lucky because I had an internship for the first year, and this is what I wanted because I wanted to be there only for a year, and I asked that I be given an internship and not a full job the first year. I wanted it that way, and it was perfect because then I didn't have to focus on one responsibility, one task. I was able to work a little bit in all the departments, get to know everything, and I think that's very important because at the end of the day you will have to work with everyone else, and it doesn't quite sounds credible when somebody's mentioning a colleague's name from another department and telling you, yeah, you should get in touch with that person, or the fact that you don't even know that person can help you in your job. That's not very nice. So that's one of the things you should focus on. The other thing is I don't know how competitive you are by nature, but prove yourself in the beginning. A lot of people wait until the responsibilities come to them, the tasks come to them, and then they are like, yeah, when the first project comes to me, I will prove myself. That is a very wrong way of thinking. No, prove yourself in any way that you can in the first few weeks. After, I don't mean to boast, but just to give you an example that this can help you and this goes a long way. When I finished my internship at at the end of the first year, the company was practically begging me to stay and to take the job. They didn't know at the time that I was unfortunately already in love with my husband. but and I was gonna stay anyway, but they thought I did because they insisted. Well, good for me. But yeah, that's because I think I made a lot of effort and I went the extra mile to prove myself during that first year. So that will go a long way, and you will be an indispensable or at least a very important employee in the company, and they will not think of letting you go anytime soon. So yeah, those are a few things. Mm, one thing that made me get to where I am. There's actually a saying, I don't know if it's a saying, it's like a motto that I learned in 10 Academy. There was this presenter who came, I really cannot remember his name. He was super mean. I think he was a professor at HSC University, but he came to give a lecture to us, and he was repeatedly saying one thing that really got to me. He was saying, walk the talk. So I will write it for you guys because it it really stayed with me. So it says, he was always saying that everybody talks. Anybody can talk. Everybody does it. But very few people actually walk the talk. So that was really like, I remember I went to bed that night and I couldn't sleep. I don't know why. It was like something had just, it was like this big push at that time because I was a little in between places at that time. It was like, yeah, I am here because I don't know if I would have gotten a job anyway, you know? So it was a bit, nothing was too certain at that time. And it was a 1 month fellowship. I had no idea what was happening after that. But that guy said, you have to walk the talk. And I know I have talked a lot in my life about where I want to get, about everything that I will achieve before I am 30. I still have a few years to go, by the way. And it just stuck with me. Yeah, you have to actually walk the talk. You can't just be talking all the time. So I would say that is the not, of course, there are a lot of things that got me to where I am now. But yeah, that's one of the most, that's one of the things that pushed me the most. And also, I would say never miss an opportunity. Too many people do that, and it's sad. I also see my siblings doing that right now, and it's really sad. People are scared. They're scared to get out of their comfort zone. And you will never get anywhere in your comfort zone. It's called a comfort zone for a reason because it's a zone. Do you want to be zoned your whole life? I don't think so, right? So get out of that comfort zone. When you have an opportunity, I have I make it a rule for myself. When I see a good opportunity, I don't think twice. I take it. So if it ends up badly, fine, it was a lesson for you. If it works out, well, you proved yourself. So yeah, that's what will get you anywhere you want. How long did it take you to cope? Oh, thank you for enjoying the session, Rahel. How long did it take you to cope? Mm, the I think in terms of the job itself, it was not so, the job environment was not so challenging because just a few months before I started the work, I had joined 10 Academy Fellowship, and that was the challenge. That was the most challenging thing. A new group of people for a month, that was really challenging. And after that experience, it was quite easy for me to adapt to new experiences. And also, like I mentioned, I studied abroad, so that also kind of maybe helped. I'm not so scared of things changing. I think that's what people are most scared of. They're scared of changes, you know. They don't want to take the next job because you don't know how the colleagues will be, you don't know how the environment will be. But yeah, staying stuck doesn't help. That's what I would say. So, how long did it take me to cope? Not so long. Not so long. If you have the right mindset, if you are ready, you have a high adaptability. So you're like, okay, I will go in this next situation. Maybe it will not be fun. Maybe it will. Maybe it will be the worst decision of my life. Maybe it won't, but you will tackle with whatever comes. And this is the mindset that you need. And I don't think it takes very long for people to adapt to changes when they have this kind of mindset. Some of the challenges I faced, yes, I couldn't find the foods that I like in Germany. uh, yeah, I don't like the German food. uh, but in terms of the job itself, the challenges that I faced, of course, it's like when you work, it's not textbook. So you have to learn everything from new. But if you have done it once when you studied for your degree, you can do it again for a job. It's the same thing. You will face the challenges. Yeah. Mm. Oh, Emmanuel, you're also an engineer. Welcome to the club. Uh, okay. There's somebody who says, I would study law too, given a chance. Maybe in a few years we'll be fighting each other in the court. Um,
Okay, guys, do keep your questions coming. I think we are almost on time and we're almost wrapping up. I think the last few questions can we hear from a lady? If you can unmute, we've already heard from Rufus. So any other women, Jeanette, Mulawak, Wamuyu,
Golf. I
if
am
you
a
have a
big
question or
believer.
you,
I am a
yes,
big believer in women
yeah,
power, and I don't see a lot of that power here.
yeah. So I'm giving them the chance now.
Yeah.
Please unmute and then ask the question. Wamuyu and Rahel and everyone, Jeanette, yes.
Okay. In the meantime, okay. In the meantime, I am going to take Emmanuel's question first. What is the biggest challenge you think female faces as engineers? Yeah, the biggest challenge is that nobody thinks that you know what you're doing. Sometimes, honestly, I mean, I'm telling you guys, sometimes I think I don't know what I'm doing, but I will find a way to do it. But the problem now is that I know that other people don't. So the first sign that you give of not knowing what you're doing, they will jump on you and they will try to kick you out of a project. I had that. I am serious. I had that. I was almost kicked out of a project once, a project in the UK, because one of my colleagues thought they need a male engineer. I wouldn't be able to take it. Yeah, but I finished the project. I was lucky, I guess. My boss believed in me, and I was able to finish my project well, very well actually. So that's one thing. But the challenge really is this, that mm, people have this. I don't know if it comes down from times before us. If it's like a kind of mindset, like people think that girls cannot have engineering skills, because that's the mistake that they make. Maybe before, I don't know, maybe before, many years ago, what engineers would do were more practical things. But now we do a lot more theoretical things. That's what I always say. I mean, I give the instructions from my living room on my laptop, and some technician is doing the work in Kazakhstan. So I don't think that's very hard for a woman to do. And that's the mindset that needs to change. So that is the challenge that people don't understand. They think when you're a female engineer, you have to be able to wear the boots. I have done it, by the way. You have to be able to wear the boots. You have to be able to get on site. I have done all of it, but people think you can't for some reason. I don't know why. So yeah, that's a challenge. Would you be open to offer mentorship? Claire, okay, just because you're a girl. No, I'm kidding. Um, Actually, this is something I discussed with Aaron a while ago. I I would like that, yes, of course. And this is something I always wanted to do. Maybe I didn't mention this until now, but when I finished the 10 Academy Fellowship Program, and before I finished, actually, I went to Arun about 10 days before I went back home. I went to Arun and I told him, because we were doing so many coding workshops in our program, and it was so fun, and it was so fun to see people who had never done anything technical. They were coding, and we were having so much fun. Like, that was the most fun experience of my life. So much fun, and it was so inspiring to see that. And I told Arun I would like to do something like this in my country, in Mauritius, to give people the opportunity to learn coding in this fun environment. And I did. I co-founded a company along with another fellow from the program. I don't know, maybe he will also speak to you one of these days, I hope. His name is Muzammil. He's from Mauritius. We co-founded a company together. The company is called UCode. And we, in the very short time that I was in Mauritius, that was barely 5 months before I came to Germany, we organized about seven workshops, coding workshops, and they were all free. So we were able to get the sponsorship that we needed. And another way that we were able to fund was like, if somebody really wanted a certificate, they would pay a small fee for the certificate. Then we were able to cover our expenses. But that was that was the direction that I was heading towards, helping these young people learn new skills and be able to 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 have these coding skills that are very important for jobs nowadays. And it's not important that you know how to code, no, but if you have a coding background, it shows that you have some kind of special skills that non-coders have. So I think employers value that as well. So yes, in terms of being open to offer mentorship, yeah, I would like that. This is something I always wanted to do. I would like that. You're free to get in touch if you would like. What's your take to be able to? Um, okay. This is a very, how would I say? Honestly, I don't have a take on whether you should pursue a master's or not. Uh, I think there are two schools of thoughts for this. The first one is all the jobs now, they want you to have some kind of job experience before. I know it's very difficult. It's like this vicious circle. They want yeah, there's this joke that they want a fresh university graduate with 10 years experience. Yes, it's funny, yes, but it's true. All the employers now, they want people with job experience, and that's why many people, right after the degree, if they get the first opportunity to get a job, they do it. And this is what I did. Yes, this is what I did. I had the chance to continue my scholarship to study my master's in Brunei, where I was studying my bachelor's, but I no, I took the job. It's very personal. It's a very personal decision. It depends on your situation. I would say, to put it the easy way, I would say if you have a few more years where you can afford not to work and not like struggle to live, no, but I don't know what kind of background you come from. If your parents are like, yeah, sure, do it 1, 2 more years, do your masters, and then you start working, there's no rush, do it. And I would say that because once you start working, it's very difficult to go back to doing a master's. I started studying for an online MBA last year, but yeah, that was just before I got pregnant with my son. And after that, I continued during my pregnancy. So I was pregnant, working and studying, but of course, that is not something you can keep up with. So I took a break right now until my son is at least a year old, and I plan to continue. But if I had done this right after my degree, I wouldn't have this problem. But then again, I wouldn't have the job experience that I have. So I think it's very important that you see yourself in the position that you are right now. What are your options in front of you? Don't say, okay, I will not do a master's because I will look for a job or something. Look for a job and do a master's. When you have the job in front of you, you have been accepted, you have been offered the job, and you have been offered the masters as well, then you will know by yourself. It will come naturally. You will know what you want to do. You will think a lot about it, but at the end of the day, you will know what you want to do. But don't ruin your opportunities. Don't ruin your chances by thinking about what could, about what might, what will. No, don't ruin your chances because of that. When you have concrete options, then think about it. If right now you already have a master's and you don't have a job, be realistic. How long is it going to take you to find a job? Are you going to find a job in the next 2, 3 months? No, maybe in the next 6 months. Are you willing to wait 6 months? So you have to really weigh your opportunities right now, weigh your position, weigh your choices, and then take a decision. But I have to say honestly, this is not an easy decision. It will never be an easy one. Yeah. What would you say it is harder to get into the job market compared to your time? I wouldn't say harder. I would say just as hard. Yeah, again, I have to be honest here. I don't want to paint a picture that's not real for you. And I wouldn't want anyone to do that for me as well. I wouldn't have liked anyone to do it at my time. That's why Arun was very clear. He told all of us that they are trying to get us internships at the time or jobs, but um, they didn't have for everybody. They were clear. So that's what I'm going to tell you as well. It is hard. It was hard, I think, even 10 years ago. It was hard. Maybe, I don't know, 50 years ago it was different. I don't know. But it's always hard to get a job, but it's never too hard to stand out. And I mean stand out. Let me give you one example. So when I was doing my job interview for the job that I have right now, the interviewer asked me a question. So they asked me, I finished my high school examinations in November, wow, long time ago, November 2012, and I started the university in August 2013. So for 9 months, that was the time between high school and university where you're having the fun of your life and you're enjoying your time. You just finished high school and you're going to university. That's what most people are doing, just enjoying. And the interviewer asked me, what were you doing? What did you do those 9 months? So this is just an example for you. I will tell you what I did, and you think about what you did during those times. I I am a science student, always had a science background, but during those 9 months I did ACCA. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's the Chartered Association for Accountants. Accountant, yes.
Accounting. Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did my ACCA level one because it takes 6 months to finish the level one. So those are three modules, and I am certified level one ACCA accounting. I will probably never use it in my life, but I did it not because I was interested in accounting. I did it because that was the most productive thing I found that I could do in 6 months. And I am really big on certifications, so I wanted something I can show for, some like certificate, and yeah, this because it's prestigious to do an ACCA module. So I did that during my 6 months, and of course the interviewers were impressed. They were like, "Wow, okay, she really went out of her way. She didn't waste the time." So now you think back, did you do something to stand out? If you didn't, it's never too late. Yeah, it's never too late. You still can. Just, I would say, just don't waste any time that you have in your life. These times between when you start studying until you get a job, this is the most critical time where you have to prove yourself, where you have to gather as much knowledge, expertise as you can. And then when you enter the job market, you will already have a head start in compared to other applicants. It will be hard. It will not be easy, but when you know you have done your best, you will have the results that you're looking for. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Was that the
Thank you
last one?
very much. And yeah, that's the last one. And that brings us to the end of our guest of today. We're right on time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I so much enjoyed this session. I think we might need to have you on another session again. You were very practical with your experiences, talking more of someone who's in the industry and sharing perspective on what the wannabes who want to be in the industry should look out for. And I love the honesty at which you spoke, which is very important. I think every working space needs someone who can practice some level of professionalism and still be fun. So this has been a really great session, and we look
Yeah.
forward to stay in touch. Can we connect with you on LinkedIn? How do we get
Oh,
to
yes,
you?
yes. I could. I don't know if you can see my name again. I am an engineer who knows nothing about Google Meet, but well. So this is my name. You can connect. You can write me. I will be happy to answer. Of course, I might take maybe 1, 2 days. Maybe I will not reply within the hour. It's very difficult with the baby and with the job, but I will try my best to help you guys.
Sure. I just sent you a message on LinkedIn. So
Thank
I
you.
look forward to connecting. All right. So
Sure.
we'll say bye bye for now.
Okay, guys, it was really nice talking to you. I hope I have been able to, I don't know, motivate you guys, inspired you guys, or maybe clear some confusion that was in your head. I really hope so. And yes, you can connect with me, of course.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It was nice. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
All right. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.